What's good, my people? Welcome into Buckets Action Network's daily NBA betting podcast. We're in a workshop Thursday, NBA slate. It's not the best slate, but it is an NBA slate. So we're here to break it down for you. And I got my guys with me, Bryan, Fonseca, you know the man. Michael Fiddle, you know the man. I am your host, Sean Little. What is it, boys? It is a 4-game slate?
4-game.
More like
and we
two.
It's a 2-game slate hiding in a 4-game slate. You know how we do. We got 3 stars, we got 2 stars, we got 1 stars. 3 stars are our best bets. We are presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours. You know how we do. We'll get the play, we'll get the cap, we'll get you guys out of here. Let's jump right into it. What did we learn tonight? What have we learned this week? Michael Fiddle, I want to take this time to talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder.
That's what I was going to do. So let's go for it.
What in the world are we watching, sir? These teams look like they do not belong on the floor with the Oklahoma City Thunder. This looks like an NBA squad versus the ACC. It looks like men versus boys. People have no answer for these guys. I typed out a tweet as a joke, kind of, that at some point this year, the Thunder are going to lay 25 plus in the market. What the bookmakers don't know what to do. They can't make the number big enough. Every time I talk to people, they try to figure out a way to explain to themselves that you can't give the Suns 15 and a half. That's too many points. It shriveled up in 6 minutes. Michael Fiddle, talk to me about the Thunder.
Yeah, I think this is one of the greatest teams I've ever seen play basketball. And I remember doing an exercise late last season in the postseason, and I calculated with my model. I put in the 2020, was it 425 Thunder regular season stats, and I started comparing them against the 96 Bulls, the 2017 Warriors, the 2013 Spurs, the Heatles of 2011. I went through some of like the greatest teams I've seen in my lifetime, the Shaq Kobe Lakers team that was the best version of themselves. And I started going like, where would this team actually model against some of the greatest teams in NBA history? And the only teams that they were worse than were 96 Bulls and 2017 Warriors. So my model had last year's Thunder team as the 3rd best team of all time. And I look at this group and I'm like, well, they just took another step forward. And of course, this is like context within the NBA. I do think if the OKC Thunder played the 96 Bulls right now, if we could make that simulation happen, OKC would be a resounding favorite because of their shooting and because of their spacing and just the way the game has changed. But this is truly one of the greatest teams I've ever seen. And I think you just got to sit back and continue to watch it and embrace it and enjoy it and take it in. Like if people are listening to Buckets, they're probably at some of their peak in NBA fandom in their lifetime. If they're betting the NBA regularly and watching these games regularly, like how many more times are you going to be a bigger NBA fan than you are right now? Watch these games and embrace it, because this team is sensational. Like, I don't think they could get much better. Like, how could they? Chet might be the greatest role player, and it feels insulting to call him a role player, but that's how he's used on this team. He might be the greatest role player ever. He's unbelievable. The way that Chet moves off ball for a big man is something like I've never seen before. So it's just incredible, and yet they're still doing it down a starter in Hartenstein. And just like it almost feels like J-Dub out for the beginning of the season. They just beat the Jazz by 30 plus without SGA. They had Dort and Caruso out for a little bit. They still haven't been full. This is crazy to me. I don't think they're going to care about a 73, 74, 75 wins type of thing. I do think they're going to be tested in the playoffs, because these things are just really hard achievements to just roll through the playoffs. But I do think they might not be a underdog for a single playoff game this year. Like they might not be an underdog for the rest of the season. And yet we look at the average age. You said it's men versus boys. Sean, the trick is they're the boys. Like the average age by minutes, they're the 9th youngest team in the NBA. The average age by usage rate, they're the 10th youngest team in the NBA. This is crazy. How long is this going to go for? Only time will tell, but just, strap in, embrace it, and let's go. Thunder, this is just, it's some of my favorite basketball to watch.
Yeah, I think that's really well said. I think the 73, 74, 75 win thing is interesting because I think for even the Bulls and the Warriors and now the Thunder, like it doesn't really get real till later on. And I think that's when it becomes like something that they want to go get. Like, all right, we're actually in firing range to go get this. Let's try to go get it. So we'll see how this squad holds up. But what are we watching, Fonseca? How do you explain it? Because I'm out of words, man. I don't know what to say. So you show up. Dylan Brooks has been awesome all year long. All they did was like, all right, we are gonna absolutely shut this Dylan Brooks water completely off, make his life a living hell. And yes, they were without Devin Booker. I understand that. Still, they will just shut off your best option all the way off, not a little bit off. They shut it all the way off, and then they make all these other people do things they're not comfortable doing. Then they turn you over, and they immediately turn them into points. And it's high energy for 48 minutes the whole way. And eventually, you just throw in the towel and quit. I've seen it over and over, night after night. Guys are like, man, we don't have any fucking answer for what these guys are doing. Let's just go ahead and get up out of here, and we'll try to catch them the next time we play them. Like, you see it on their face. I don't think Grayson Allen should have gotten F2, but he was fine going to the locker room. He's like, all right, cool. I'm out of here, dude. Like, this is dust anyway. I have no answer. I'll go ahead and go home.
The thing with me is that it's also not boring to watch. Like it's not the type of excellence where it's like, oh God, okay, cool. Like this is how people got with Floyd Mayweather toward the end, where he was still pound for pound number one. But it was like, okay, great. Not me, because I'm a boxing sicko and I admire the counterpunching aspect of it all. But they were like, all right, cool. He's going to move around the ring a lot, parry everything, land a couple jabs, and just take the round because you can't hit him. Like this is not that. This is these dudes punch you in the mouth from the very start. And I could appreciate that because I admire defense. And the thing that I like about this team is it's not pretty. It's not like you're watching a team that's putting up 130 every night just on offense and they're just outscoring you. It's like, no, they're also wearing you down defensively, making you make a ton of mistakes on offense, creating turnovers like no team we've seen, basically. And they also have a lot of guys that do it. So it's not a team where there are two awesome players and everyone else are just kind of role players that fit in. It's like, no, you could totally see, for example, AJ Mitchell becoming a really good player at some point in his career. You could see Cason Wallace becoming a really good player at some point in his career. Like we're talking about maybe borderline all-star levels, if not just a straight up all-star, but they're fitting on this role in this team. And typically you would see veterans have those slots, guys who've been around for a long time. And it's like, okay, Andre Iguodala was what he was in Philadelphia, but now in Golden State, he has to be more of a role player and adapt. And it's like, no, they have young guys filling in these spots who are probably going to continue to get better. And on top of that, they have every pick imaginable for the foreseeable future. So it's going to continue to get better, AKA for the other 29 teams and maybe 31 if there's expansion. It's going to get worse. Like we're only at the start of this, it feels like. And not to say that they're going to win 5 straight championships, although I'm not taking it off the table at this point. But you mentioned the age, Fiddle. I looked at this coincidentally during the game. They have 2 dudes over 30 years old. Alex Caruso and Kenrich Williams. Kenrich Williams, who I covered in college, We were in college at the same time. He was in the Final Four, the NIT Final Four, to be clear, at MSG with TCU years ago before he was in Oklahoma City. I remember these things. And you have all these other dudes where it's like they're 27, 26, 23. Chet Holmgren is 23 and scratching the surface of what we think he can be. And it's unfair, but it's also fun to watch because it's like, who's going to solve this shit? So I'm actually excited to see them play. It looks like it may be the Spurs in the next round. We'll see if the Lakers actually cut the deficit at the time we're recording this. And more than likely, not more than likely, I don't want to disrespect the Magic, but it's going to be the Knicks or the Magic in the finals of the Cup because I do think the Thunder will go through whoever. And I've played with the idea, Sean, that this team could win 75 games because they're already 24-1. I'm anticipating 25-1. And you mean to tell me that they win 50 more, but they're going to lose, I don't know, more than 6, 7 the rest of the way? It's just hard to see unless they just get the worst injury luck possible, which I guess is possible.
Yeah, I mean, they're deep enough to withstand a couple injuries. I mean, we saw Hardenstein didn't play. We saw what happened when SGA didn't play. They are just a well-oiled machine. They have one loss. It was to Portland on a back-to-back and 3 games in 4 nights on the road. Lou Dort didn't play, neither did Jalen Williams. And at one point in the game, they were up 22. So Portland shot 32 free throws in the game. So, I mean, they're lucky to have one loss. I mean, they had a couple of double overtime games to start the year. Other than that, they have been unbelievable. So what I've learned is I would completely look, we don't I know we talked about this too, Fiddle. You never want to say never, I'll never bet them. You never want to write people off. I would be hard pressed to bet against the Oklahoma City Thunder because I don't know a number that's big enough. I really don't. I don't care what anybody's model says. I don't care what it spits out. I'd like the number doesn't seem to be big enough no matter what. So you would be guessing, in my opinion, if you were to go against the Thunder, especially in their building at Paycom. Go ahead, Fiddle.
I actually think the number is bang on with models. This was a rare spot against Phoenix today where my model and market ratings, which is market ratings is just a, hey, what are all the closing lines throughout the league? And then it's a formula that weights more recent games heavier and then gives you a net rating. And then you could match up any teams, factor in home court advantage, and you get like a generic price. It kind of dilutes matchup stuff. It kind of dilutes rest and travel, but it gives you a baseline. Today, this is one of the rare times where it was literally the exact same. So even the market is pricing them well in. The model's representing what they're doing on the court. So there's really no difference, which is a positive thing for me to see. Like on back end and process wise, I enjoy seeing the alignment within those two. And yet OKC just continues to smash. I feel like they're just getting better as the season goes on. And the model and the market rating just continue to reflect that. Like they started the year, 9 points better, 9.5 points better than your average team. They're up to 12. Like, it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy how much they keep improving. I don't know where the stopping point is.
They've been double-digit favorites in 13 straight games, have covered 15.5, 11.5, 15.5, 10.5, 16.5, 15.5 over that streak. So it's a different ball squad that we're talking about. All right. 3-star, 2-star, 1-star coming up. But first, let's hear from our guy, Matt Moore.
The Buckets Podcast is teamed up with DraftKings Sportsbook, where new customers can bet $5 and get $200 back in bonus bets if your bet wins. Stay in on the action and use your bonus bets on DraftKings same-game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. To get started, use promo code BUCKETSNBA when signing up with DraftKings. Again, use code BUCKETSNBA when signing up and bet $5 to get $200 back in bonus bets if your bet wins. The crown is yours.
DraftKings, the crown is yours. 4-game slate tomorrow. 3-2-1 on the stars. Let's start with the 3 stars. We're correlating a couple spots here, so we'll be able to cross off a couple of caps here all together. Michael Fiddle, give me your 3-star bet for the Thursday NBA slate.
This is going to be the Boston Celtics at the Milwaukee Bucks under 226.5. I'm looking at the board now. You pretty much is seeing all 225.5s. So make it a 2.5 star play in terms of how much you're going to actually bet it. But I'm still okay taking that number. It seems, if we're speculating based on line movement in the market and the way that these market makers and people betting into it are using probabilistic modeling to anticipate what's coming in the injury report, AJ Green might be out for this game for Milwaukee. We're seeing the spread lengthen towards Boston, and we're seeing the under take action. So this is going to be a sweaty under because these teams are going to shoot a lot of threes. But as much as Boston wants to talk about pace, they're just playing slow. Like, it just is what it is. And without Giannis, the Milwaukee Bucks play a lot slower too. So these teams are going to shoot a lot of threes. But if you go, a few possessions without a pick, you're going to see, a minute and a half burn off the clock. So I like the under here. It's my 3-star play. It's opened at 227.5. It's come down. I think this is probably where it's going to finish. It's unless we get the official news that AJ Green is out, but I still like it at 225.5 towards the under. Sean, I make jokes that my girlfriend tells me I wish I was a morning person, but she just wakes up so tired every day and not actually wanting to wake up. The Boston Celtics wish they were a fast-paced team, and they could talk about it all they want until they see it and until the metrics prove it. They're just not. They are a slow-paced team.
Celtics have won 7 of 8, 5 straight, have looked really good of late. I was really impressed with the win in Toronto. I'm not gonna lie. I was not expecting them to go up. Fonseca, any thoughts overall on the total here? I think no AJ Green is big for the way this Bucks potentially no AJ Green is big with this no Giannis team with Kevin Porter Jr. getting back into the fold. AJ Green's been big for them. He was big in the last outing. He had a lot of big shots. Willing to take the shots, I think, is also a big deal. I talk about that all the time. Need guys that are willing to actually pull the trigger. A guy that sometimes isn't willing to do that on the offensive end. Any thoughts on this total going under, as Fiddle mentioned?
I'm never gonna dislike an under involving the Bucks if Giannis isn't there. I might specifically even look at the team total one just to see where that number is going to be at, because I think this is a good fate of them a little more specifically, because obviously the offense has been hard to come by. They're averaging under 110 points in the games that Giannis has missed so far, and they've scored over 116 just once in, I believe, 8 games where they're 1-7 without Giannis at this point. So I don't think this should be a bad spot for Boston. But points, I mean, Boston's defense is actually, they've gotten some answers as they've rounded into who they've become over the last, we'll call it 2-3 weeks. And they've been on a really nice stretch here. And I think points in the paint is going to be an interesting battle to watch here too, because both teams, Boston in particular, are good about not allowing too many points in the paint with Miasketa active.
Boston Celtics have covered 8 games in a row. They've gone over in 4 in a row and 5 of 6. Most of those games were played on the road as well, and this game is in Milwaukee, which is interesting. Fonseca, do you think we've hit a little bit of a fever pitch on this Boston squad? They've been getting a lot of love lately from every different direction. Most of it deserved. I mean, they have some really good wins over this stretch. Lakers, Knicks, Cavs, Raptors, as I mentioned, the Pistons, the Magic. Like, they've been playing good squads and been showing up. But are we starting to hit the top of the market for the Boston Celtics?
They're one of the teams that I'm looking at in terms of, okay, who in the East is going to jump between now and the February trade deadline? Because if they actually do think Jason Tatum can come back this season, and presumably, I don't know, March, we'll say something like that, just to be safe. If they think that's the case, because I think teams in the East look at the Knicks like, we can take them. With the right move.
You think so?
Right, with the right help. Yeah, I don't think teams in the Eastern Conference are fearing the Knicks. Like, I don't think they look at them like the way teams in the West might look at Oklahoma City. And teams didn't fear Oklahoma City last year, and then they ended up winning the title anyway. Yeah, but I don't think teams in the East are looking at like, we absolutely cannot compete with Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns and Josh Hart and Mike Brown. I don't think that. So I think Boston could. They have some interesting contracts they can flip. Anthony Simons is obviously the most obvious one. He's not alone there. And if Derek White can start playing better more consistently because he came out the gate slow, if they're healthy enough, they make the right moves. Their front office has shown to be aggressive. Jason Tatum could come back in March. Like the stars can kind of align in that way. And they do have a decent stretch of games coming up. There's a road trip. End of the year into early January, but it's Indiana, Portland, Utah, Sacramento, and the Clippers. And I think we would all say, yeah, they can go over 500 on that road trip, if not much better than that.
Fiddle, how far have the Boston Celtics climbed up your power rankings?
5th in the league.
From what were they 2 weeks ago?
What were they what?
2 weeks ago.
Oh, let me
off the top of your head. You can pull it up, but
I'll pull it up. Give me a second.
Yeah. So I mean, they've been fucking. My thing, and I talked about this a couple episodes ago on what I've learned, and what I mentioned was that Jaylen Brown was up for it. Yeah. I wasn't sure he was going to be up for it. Like, no Tatum, I'll handle all the volume necessary, and he has been up for it. So they're 5th right now on Fiddle's power rankings. And a couple weeks ago, where were they?
Wednesday, November 28th, exactly 2 weeks ago from when we're recording this, they were 12th.
I guess it's going to be
14th. That's a big boy jump, and I think it is deserved. So let's see how they play in Milwaukee. Look out for the injury report and AJ Green getting a go or not. He's currently questionable. I think that's big for Milwaukee, and that obviously would affect the total. All right, Fonseca, let's go to your 3-star play for the Thursday NBA slate.
Peyton Watson over 17.5 points plus rebounds. Also, just want to acknowledge the chat real quick. Saw the LeBron dunk a couple minutes ago. Luke Cornett.
He got punched on?
He ate that one. It was bad.
The king just put him in his place.
It was bad.
He said, Luke, I am your father.
I know it's LeBron, and I know he's 60 years old. But listen,
hey, no LeBron. Hey, I do not tolerate LeBron slander. You use his correct age.
You don't see. You just don't see. And Luke Cornett's a legit rim protector. Like, this is a real NBA center. You know what I mean? This wasn't like Anthony Edwards dunking on Yuta Watanabe. No disrespect. A few years ago during one of them COVID seasons. Anyway, Peyton Watson over 17.5 points plus rebounds. Over an 8 of 10. Still no Aaron Gordon. And they need Peyton Watson to play 30 plus minutes, which he has been doing more consistently as of late. Against Sacramento last time they played each other, he had 15 and 7, so sailed over this. There's a world where he could just get this on the points, but I'm not gonna absolutely guarantee that. But the rebounding opportunities, he's taking advantage of them, and he's been consistent. He's at 8, 6, 7, 5, 5, 6, 5, 7, 10, and 12 over the 10-game stretch that we're talking about so far. So if the floor is 5, you just need maybe a dozen or so points, 13 points. But I do think against Sacramento in particular, and then again in that game against Sacramento, he had 7 rebounds. Against Sacramento in particular, no Domantas Sabonis still. There are going to be opportunities for him. I may look at the double-double. I may just give it a look, see what it's at. If it's a nice number, we'll pop it in there. That's going to be a long shot sort of sprinkle there. I did this with Jamal Shed against the Knicks the other day, where Emmanuel Quickley was scratched, and I had Emmanuel like, look, they got to get 3-point volume from somewhere, and Emmanuel Quickley can put up 8 to 10 a game. Well, Jamal Shed, his points assist prop, Vegas didn't adjust, was 15.5, and he went way over that. He went over that with just the points. Didn't quite get the double-double, but I'm looking at this sort of the same way. Obviously, there's no like injury last minute that we're anticipating, but I do think Peyton Watson can take good advantage of this, and I love his points rebounds prop in this game. It's actually the only prop that I could say I love on this slate.
Yeah, I mean, I like Denver in this matchup. I'll tat in a second here. There's opportunity for Peyton to get going. The Kings are a fucking disaster. Like there's a few teams in the league that are a disaster. I think this is the most diabolical zero squad in the league for me. I mean, I guess Charlotte's up there too. We can talk about them, but they got my boy Knipple doing the true professional doing his thing. Everything about Sacramento is just a disaster for me. So yeah, I think there's opportunity for Peyton Watson to get going, of course, with the rest of the offense-focused Denver Nuggets as well. Fiddle, any thoughts on Peyton Watson over 17.5 points plus rebounds?
Yeah, you guys know who leads the league in player offensive rating? Peyton Watson.
Peyton Watson?
Nobody on the
Number
Kings.
1 in the NBA. You know, if you look at the top 10, you would happen to see Jokic 2, Murray 3, Cam Johnson 5, Tim Hardaway Jr. 10. So it's just flooded with Nuggets. But he's filled in for Gordon quite nicely. He's literally number 1 offensive rating in the league for any player. So shout out to Peyton Watson. If you're going to be looking at Peyton Watson while the Nuggets are still dealing with these injuries, it's definitely a buy spot for me too. So Bryan likes it. I like it too. So he's been very impressive.
It's a guy they've been waiting on to look like this overall. It's another guy that can contribute. I think the one thing we didn't talk about with the Thunder was Fiddle mentioned the playoffs are different. The 7-game series are just different. And I think you just get different matchups, different aspects, different ways to attack guys. And of course, Jokic and the Denver Nuggets are going to be tough to beat in a 7-game series. And if Peyton Watson continues to play like this, it's just another guy that they can lean on for real big time minutes that are impactful. So yeah, I like it. Peyton Watson over 17.5 points plus rebounds for Bryan Fonseca. No crazy cap here for me. My 3-star play is the Denver Nuggets minus 9.5, minus 115 against the Sacramento Kings. I really think the Kings are on the verge of imploding across the board in every single aspect. I think Denver, even though it's been almost one-sided offensively, being that that's where they've been just trying to run folks off the floor and overwhelm people offensively, the Sacramento Kings are a perfect opponent for that. And I think the Denver Nuggets coming off a few days off will be able to get that done. This should be a 10, 11-point spread, double digits at the very least, even if it's on the road. I think it closes there. Fiddle can talk to me a little bit about that. I know you're on this as well at some point in the 3-star. So, yeah, I think this is a big opportunity for the Denver Nuggets to continue to roll offensively, and the Kings are going to have absolutely no answer for what they're going to bring. It could be Murray, it could be Jokic, it could be Watson, it could be a number of folks that are going to get going, but the Kings won't have any answer with Sabonis. Sabonis brought them some stability, some like a ball handler that knew what he was doing and how to affect a basketball game. The rest of these guys are just mishmash. We'll just try to figure it out possession to possession. And it seems like, I don't want to be too harsh. I just think overall they're not going in the right direction, and they're not going to be able to deal with the offense that the Nuggets are going to bring. In a slate that doesn't have much to offer, I'll lay the 9.5 here with the Nuggets. Fiddle, give me your cap because I know you have this as your
1-star.
1-star.
Yeah, I'll be on the Nuggets as well in this game. Have the number, it's 8.8, but then you make the manual adjustments for Zach LaVine going to be out, and I could pull up his player rating. But it is worth noting, this is a classic J Money spot. Nuggets rested with some revenge in this game. We have H-Town in the comments saying, didn't Kings beat Nuggets last time they played? This is actually the 4th time they're going to play this season. This is going to be the 4th and final time that these two teams play the season. In the first one, the Nuggets won, but the Kings covered. In the second one, the Nuggets covered, but they ended up it was like tied in the 4th quarter, and then Jamal Murray would worry and hit some crazy shots. He was hitting his heat checks, and the Nuggets ended up winning and covering. And the third one, the Kings were down 8 late in the third, and they stormed back and came and won. And so this is going to be one where the Nuggets are probably going to take them very seriously from the jump because of that. They've played the Kings have legitimately played the Nuggets well all season. But I don't think that continues, especially with Zach LaVine going to be out for this game. I'm looking at player values for this spot, and still important ATS. He's worth 1.7. So if you have the game 8.8 and then you factor in the no Levine, I'm not counting anything for Dennis Schroeder because he's been a little bit out of the rotation anyways. So I'll put this at like 10.5. So I agree, Sean, it should be double digits, and that makes 9.5 a play.
Yeah, in that last matchup, the two games in Denver were close with the Kings getting a win in one of those. And the game in Sacramento was a blowout in favor of the Nuggets. But in that last game, 128-123, and the Kings win, 36 points came from Levine and Schroeder, and Schroeder's doubtful on the injury report as well. They're just not going to have enough firepower. I really like this spot for the Denver Nuggets. And familiar, they'll take these guys seriously off the jump. Big double-digit win coming for the Nuggets. Fonseca, you're looking at the first half, though, for your one stop.
Just to play it safe, although I do think I think this is an alt spot all the way around. So Maurice mentions the points in the first quarter. Also, I looked at that. That's minus 2.5. I don't love taking just quarters, but Denver in first quarter scoring margin is in the top 5 in the NBA, and Sacramento's in the bottom 5. So if you want to do that, that's fine. I have no qualms with it. I think this could be an alt spot. I think this could be a straight up ass whooping revenge spot that we talked about. And if anyone in the Orlando Magic organization can hear me, please save Dennis Schroeder from this team and trade for him. The Tyus Jones thing has not worked. And it doesn't look like it will. It looks like he might be cooked. You have Mo and Franz Wagner on the team. There's built-in chemistry for years of whooping ass with the German national team, who has been
That's actually, I like that. Yeah.
Seriously, this has been the second best program in the world for the last 3 years running, with medals in Eurobasket, at winning the World Cup, and nearly medaling in the Olympics, and actually won Eurobasket too, I should mention. Save Dennis Schroeder and put him on a good team. I do not want to see him on the Sacramento Kings, especially after they signed Russell Westbrook. It doesn't make sense. There are a bunch of players in Sacramento, Russell Westbrook, Dennis Schroeder, Keon Ellis, who I want to see in better situations. And I just don't want to see them wither away in Sacramento. By the way, Zach LaVine out this game as well. So talking about the firepower, they're not going to have much of that either. So yeah, I think this number can climb from 9.5. So I'd get on it.
Shout out Dennis Schroeder, man. I agree. I still think about that Knicks Pistons playoff series quite a bit. It was fucking awesome. Dennis had his hands all over it. He still got some juice and can bring it, and is not a guy that you want to go up against or deal with on the nightly. As we record this at 10:40, the Lakers are down 20.
Crazy.
In their building, 9.5 left in the third.
We got a comment about that.
Plus 9.5, minus 125 from Do It All Chris 313. Why do I keep looking at it?
Because it's the Lakers.
Because you want action. That's why, Chris. Because you want to sweat something while you're sitting at the crib chilling. Because this has been Spurs from the absolute tip, from the jump. And if you listened to the episode last night, we broke down how poor the Lakers defense is with LeBron James being back in the fold and getting a bunch of minutes, and the Spurs got guys. So there's that. I really need the Lakers to come back, though, because I'm going to Vegas, and I would love to see Thunder Lakers in the semis, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen here in the third quarter. Still a lot of time. All right, let's get to these 2 stars. We got a parlay for you guys, and then we'll get you guys out of here. Fiddle, give me your 2-star play for the Thursday NBA slate.
Yeah, it's going to be the Pelicans plus 4.5. That's available minus 108 at DraftKings right now. It's flipping between 5.5 minus 118 and 4.5 minus 108. Fine with either of them. Worth tacking on some money line here as well for the home Pelicans. Young guys are starting to play well. I think they are pretty well coached under Borrego. And you might get some injury news that reflects well on the Pelicans for this game. It looks like Jordan Poole might be back, which gives them a consistent scoring threat on the perimeter. That is something they desperately need. They're good inside. Queen's been impressive. They have some decent forwards. Sadiq Bey is playing really well, but they just lack the combination between Fears and Alvarado. They just lack a threat on the perimeter. So I think Jordan Poole say what you want about him, think what you want about him. He's an important addition to this specific team. And getting him back versus the Blazers, who might be missing some of their interior presence. We had Rob Williams and Donovan Clingan both missed last game. That means the Portland Trailblazers are going to be overly reliant on either playing Small or playing Young Hansen. So I like New Orleans in this spot. I'd lay the 4.5, play the 4.5 on the, and then I would grab a money line as well. Looking at the market, it's like just under plus 160, and I like that as well.
Yeah, I think that's well said. That's bang on with what I think about the Pels. That's my 1 star, so I'll give the quick cap here. I'll take the money line plus 154. If Denny Avdia doesn't have a massive game, I think this is a really good spot for the Pels. The Portland Trailblazers lead the league in turnover percentage. They will give you the ball. They will hand it to you on multiple occasions, and that's a good spot for the Pelicans in their building. So one thing, Derek Queen looked amazing the other night.
He's looked amazing for quite a few games.
Yeah, but you said quite a few. He is yet to string together back-to-back big games. It's been a lot of spotty games. So if he could string together a back-to-back, 25-plus point night, pushing triple doubles like he did the other night, I think it could be one of those squads where you might have to flip it on just to watch Derek Queen. I hope he just goes out there and has a ton of fun. There was a tweet floating around that if Derek Queen plays 5 more games, he's played as many games as Zion Williamson like the last 5 years or something like that. Don't quote. Let me get the tweet before I disparage Zion Williamson and people yell at me. But I hope he just goes out there and has fun because it looks like it's his squad at the moment. So, I think this is a good spot for a team that turns it over and is very inconsistent. This is a good spot for the Pels to get a win and for sure try to cover a number. Just so everybody knows, Fiddle was screaming at us 5.5 before he wanted to start the show early before the number moved because he knew it would move. He liked the Pelicans at 5.5, and it now is at 4.5. So we'll lock it in there. Fonseca, any thoughts overall on the Pelicans and that matchup? And then we'll get to these 2 stars as well.
I do have a 2-star from this game. As a matter of fact. Conditional, though. Jordan Poole has been elevated to questionable on the injury report. In a world where he doesn't play, because there have been a couple instances. I mean, Victor Wembanyama looked like he might have played tonight, and evidently the Spurs haven't needed him, but looked like he might have played tonight given the injury report. And then they were like, you know what? Nah, which I get it. You want to play the long game with Victor Wembanyama because look at him. But with the Pelicans, if Jordan Poole, for whatever reason, doesn't play, I like Jose Alvarado over 9.5 points. I'm anticipating Jordan Poole to play, so I probably won't end up pulling the trigger on this. But it's also you see the slate. There's not a lot to choose from prop-wise. Not all the props are out yet because the night before, the books try to hold some things. I was waiting for the Peyton Watson one, and it finally dropped not that long ago, and we got it in there. But Jose Alvarado's been playing sneaky really well from a scoring standpoint, at least, to the point where I think there's a larger conversation to be had about, like, is he going to be one of the better backup point guards traded between now and February? He should be. $4.5 million this year, and then a player option for $4.5 million next year. He'll probably opt out of that and get a better deal from somebody. I think the Knicks should look at him in particular because Tyler Kolek. But Jose Alvarado over 9.5 points in 4 of 5. The one game he didn't was a 9 straight up, and also has other high scoring performances this year, recently, actually, within the last couple of weeks, 24-16. So if Jordan Poole doesn't play in this game, I'm going to fire on this. If not, then I have to wait it out, and I have to see like what the minutes distribution is going to be before I try to come back on this prop at some point. But just wanted to shout out my guy who's the best player we have on the Puerto Rican national team right now, who might not qualify for the World Cup because he lost to Jamaica twice.
Yeah, GTA. Shout out GTA, dog. I'm a Jose Alvarado fan. Wasn't that long ago, man. He was making noise in the playoffs. It seems like forever ago, but it really wasn't that long ago. Shout out Jose Alvarado getting in Chris Paul's head. That was awesome. That was a fun ass series.
I really think the Knicks should get him. I'm not even joking. I think the Knicks should get him.
He fit in well.
there's a Mitchell Robinson plus draft compensation for Jose Alvarado and Kevon Looney package that I assembled in my head.
Absolutely. Whatever you just said out loud. Hey,
New Orleans
edit
wouldn't
this
do
out.
it.
Dude, Mitchell Robinson is damn near unmovable. He fits so perfectly in that squad. What? Are you serious? You would move? You would think about moving Mitch Rob?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'll tell you why. He's 5 of 25 on free throws this year. Mike Brown has already intimated, like, I might have to look elsewhere or try other things, because he knows that he can't rely on this dude to, like, so much as put back up a shot. He had another game yesterday where he didn't take a shot for 16 minutes. And the fact that he's so important to the Knicks, this became a Knicks segment. The fact that he's so important to the Knicks, because he's like their second or third most important guy in terms of winning a championship, because he could dominate a playoff series or he could lose you one because he can't stay on the floor. Like the Pacers series was not a series for him. The Celtics series became a series for him because he hit enough free throws and was dominating on the glass. So was the Cavs series. The problem is, if you're tied to Mitchell Robinson having that much importance and being a swing piece and whether or not you're going to win the title or at least win the East, then that's a dangerous place to be. So, and you're the Knicks, you know you're not going to sign him long term. Like they're not going to re-sign him. There's no world, and they're playing for his money. The injury concerns, he is not playing as well lately as he was earlier this year. He can't defend on the perimeter anymore because whenever they switch onto him, he's getting cooked by guys in the perimeter consistently. All he can do is rebound on offense. He's an elite rebounder, but that is it. Like he can't even finish plays anymore because if he gets fouled, you know he's going to miss 80% of his free throw shots. And the free throw shooting is getting worse.
You need those big bodies come playoff time. I've seen this shit year in, year out.
I agree.
You get to the playoffs,
you need another
you'll be dreaming of Mitch Robinson.
You need another
one. If he was off the squad. I don't want to derail.
He might not even play.
This whole thing.
He might not even be healthy.
I don't want to derail.
You know why?
Show.
Last thing. You know why he was good last year in the playoffs? Because he sat the whole year, played the last 17 or so games, and then you had him freshened up for the playoffs. You're already seeing him losing steam now. Like you're already seeing him like gassed. I don't know if it's his body language or whatever. They're not going to re-sign him, and I think Mike Brown is looking at alternatives because he's like, bro, this guy can't make free throws.
Okay, how about this? I don't want to hear about Kevon Looney, the champ. I respect.
Get Jose Alvarado and a center. That's what I
said. Guys, the New York Post versus MSG Network crime on crime right here. Like, are there any live odds for this boxing match? This is going 12 rounds.
I like Mitchell Robinson, but you can't. If you have to trust him that much, you're in a dangerous spot. So get Jose Alvarado on the Knicks and be your backup point guard. The Tyler Kolek thing is, it's cool, but I don't think that's what you want in the playoffs.
To clear up that tweet that I said, with 6 more games played, if Derek Queen plays 6 more games, he will have played in more games this season than Zion has played in 5 of his 7 NBA seasons. That was the tweet that I saw earlier. So
can I do one quick experiment with you guys on the Derek Queen trade because everyone hates it because they traded an unprotected pick?
Sure. I called them Black Alperen Sengun before the draft. I just want to put that on record.
Black Alperen?
Yeah, Black Sengun. I like Derek Queen before. I just thought he was either going to be awesome or get somebody fired because there's a wide range of what he can do. But
sure.
Can you guys name another trade in NBA history where the process of the trade, besides the Luka trade, because that just happened, they should have shopped him. Is there a single other trade that you go into the minutia of the process of this trade was off and they could have done the exact same trade but put pick protections on? Like, is there any trade that you're like, they would have still done this, but this component of it was too, like, the process of the trade is so ridiculed?
Carmelo Anthony to the Knicks.
Yeah. When they unloaded the entire roster for Melo, that was
I just think we like if the pick doesn't pan out and Queen does pan out, that's all that's going to be forgotten. Like if this ends up becoming like the 8th pick and he's like kind of good or whatever, no one's going to care. So I'm not as quick to judge. If it becomes a top 3 pick in a great draft and a centerpiece of a team, yeah, like we'll frown upon it. But I'm not too quick to judge because Queen is playing great.
For sure. And I think Dumars was coming in. Joe Dumars was trying to make a splash, and that was the splash. And Queen has played better in some spots this year than I think a lot of people expected. So I'll give my 2-star out. Last play of the 9 total here. Denny Avia, 9+ boards, -118. You could get the DraftKings wants you to pay minus, I believe, 140 for -133 for a Denny Avia double-double. And he's going to score 10 points. I think I'm getting a discount here at -115 for him to have 9+ rebounds. I think it's very, very live. Both teams. Portland plays with pace, as we know, so there could be some extra possessions there, and they turn the ball over. I think I'm getting a discount here. Denny Avia likely to have 10 rebounds rather than 10 assists in a game where I think he's going to have to be doing the majority of the scoring. And the double-doubles at -133 over at DraftKings. So I'll take Denny Avia 9+ boards. All right. Let's get you guys out of here on a little Thursday NBA slate parlay presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours. Let's do this. Denver Nuggets -9.5. Peyton Watson over 17.5 points plus rebounds. Boston Celtics, Milwaukee Bucks under 226.5. Denny Avia 9+ boards. Parlay it up, 4-legger. +1081 over at DraftKings. Odds subject to change. Lock it in now. DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right. That's going to do it for the boys. I'm your host, Sean Little. For Bryan Fonseca, for Michael Fiddle, here's the recap. Fonseca, Peyton Watson, 17+ boards or points plus rebounds for Peyton Watson. Jose Alvarado over 9.5 points for his 2-star. 1-star Denver Nuggets first half -5.5. Michael Fiddle at Fiddle's Picks. Milwaukee, Boston under 226.5. Pelicans +5.5. Nuggets -9.5. Me, Denver Nuggets -9.5. Denny Avia 9+ rebounds. New Orleans Pelicans money line +154 for my 1-star. Until next time, which is tomorrow, let's get buckets, baby.